family members want to see you grow. One of the most painful lessons many people learn later in life. Not everybody connected to you is genuinely happy when you start growing, even family. And honestly, people don't talk about this enough because family is supposed to feel safe. Family is supposed to be support, love, protection, encouragement. So when you finally realize that some family members secretly feel uncomfortable watching you improve, succeed, heal, or move forward in life, it can break you. It can break something inside you emotionally because you never expected competition, jealousy, resentment, or negativity to come from people who share your blood. But real life teaches many people that blood connection does not automatically guarantee emotional support. And that truth is hard to accept. And I think many people grow up believing family will naturally celebrate their success. But sometimes your growth reminds certain people of their own lack of growth. Your discipline reminds them of their inconsistency. Your ambition reminds them of opportunities they wasted. Your healing reminds them of the emotional patterns they refuse to confront in themselves. And instead of being inspired by your progress, some people quietly become uncomfortable around it. Not always because they hate you personally, but because your growth forces them to reflect on themselves. And honestly, many people avoid self reflection completely. And another uncomfortable truth is that some family members are only comfortable with you when you remain in the same position they are used to. The moment you start changing mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, or socially, the relationship starts feeling different. Suddenly, they call you too proud, too different, too serious, too ambitious. And sometimes it's because you change negatively, or let me say, it's not necessarily that you change negatively, it's because your growth disrupted the version of you that felt comfortable controlling or understanding. And that realization hurt deeply because many people spend years trying to earn support from family members who secretly feel threatened by their progress. And I also think some families normalize dysfunction so much that growth almost feels like betrayal inside the family system. If everybody is financially irresponsible, the disciplined person suddenly looks different. If everybody avoids accountability, the self-aware person suddenly becomes too sensitive. If everybody is stuck mentally, the person trying to improve themselves suddenly becomes arrogant. And over time, some people start shrinking themselves just to maintain family peace. They hide achievement, they downplay dreams, they silence themselves emotionally because deep down, they already know certain family members are more comfortable with them struggling than succeeding. And honestly, that is one of the saddest emotional reality many people quietly experience. Another thing people don't talk about enough is how envy inside family often hides behind subtle behavior, passive comments, fake concern, discouragement, disguised as advice, lack of support, constant criticism, energy shift whenever you succeed. And because it's family, people ignore the signs for years, hoping things will change. But energy never lies for long. Some people genuinely celebrate you privately and publicly. Others tolerate your success only when it stays small enough not to outgrow them emotionally. And honestly, many people notice this only after they start improving their life seriously. The support changes, the energy changes, the closeness changes, yeah, and I also think people underestimate how emotionally confusing this can become because when strangers support you more than family sometimes, it creates emotional conflict internally. You start questioning yourself, wondering if you are overthinking, wondering if you are being ungrateful. But deep down, many people can feel when support is genuine versus when it is forced. And unfortunately, some family relationships are built more around familiarity than genuine emotional connection. That is why growth can expose hidden tension that was always there quietly. Another uncomfortable truth is that not everybody wants access to the healed version of you. Some people benefited from your low confidence, your lack of boundaries, your dependence, your silence. So when you become stronger mentally and emotionally, certain relationships naturally become uncomfortable because the dynamic changes. And honestly, growth changes relationship dynamics, whether people admit it or not. The version of you that tolerated disrespect cannot remain forever if healing is real. The version of you that accepted bare minimum treatment eventually starts wanting more for yourself. And some people resent that shift because they prefer the older version of you that was easier to manage emotionally. But honestly, one of the biggest signs of maturity is realizing that love and support are not always automatic just because somebody is family. Some family members genuinely love you deeply. Others love familiarity, access, control, and comfort more than your actual growth. And learning the difference can completely change your life emotionally, because once you understand this truth, you stop expecting unconditional understanding from everybody connected to you by blood. You stop forcing closeness where there is hidden resentment. You stop shrinking yourself to make insecure people comfortable. And you finally understand that protecting your peace sometimes means accepting painful truths about people you never expected to question. Because at the end of the day, not everybody connected to you is connected to your purpose. Some people are only connected to your past version. And the moment you outgrow that version, the relationship changes naturally. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is realizing not everybody close to you wants you to evolve.